Extremely important video, fellas. Extremely important video. I've been noticing this trend a lot, and that's why I have to mention this. And I talked about social media in my other videos before in the past as well. Nowadays, women want acceptance while men want love. Even though that's the very sad reality, that's what's happening today. Why do I say it's a sad reality? Because women were supposed to be chasing after men. We're supposed to be having their purpose through a man. That was a woman's purpose, was serving a man. Serving her family, serving her kids. While a man's purpose was serving something greater than him. Something much bigger, much more meaningful. But, unfortunately, the society that we live in today, the time that we live in today, has shifted both men and women both from that line, from that existence, and we live in a completely different existence than we have lived in the past. Now, fellas, I don't know about you guys, but most guys online use the internet for two main purposes. Number one, to watch porn, and number two, to look at Instagram models, to Instagram baddies, and double tap on those pictures, right? You guys might sit here and say, oh, I don't do this. That's good for you. You guys are also red-pilled. And that's why you can't seem to comprehend this concept that how can a guy sit there, I gotta start driving, how can a guy sit there and only spend his time online on these two things, on these two avenues, watching porn and Instagram models? Well, the sad reality is that's what's happening. Fellas, I didn't even believe it that much till recently. One of my roommates, he's at least 150, 200 pounds overweight. At least, has to be. I don't know exactly how much he weighs, but yeah. Like grotesquely overweight, that's how he is. And he's from the military. He's in his early 30s. He's from the military. I'm way younger than him. I'm a decade younger than him, right? He was in the Navy, and then he ended up being like this after the Navy. So I don't even want to go into that conversation right now. But I saw him recently double tapping on this chick's page, on this chick's picture that had like 1 million likes or something. I was just going to the kitchen and he happened to be sitting there in the living room. And I'm going to talk about him in this video quite a bit actually. So I'm just giving you a backstory real quick. So he was sitting there in the living room, and I just happened to look over his shoulders and saw that he was double tapping on this chick's picture, and he was scrolling through her shit. I wasn't trying to be nosy, but I just happened to look over his shoulder, and that's what I saw. And in the past, I've also seen him downloading porn and whatnot, right? We live together, so hey, it's not hard to pay attention to what your roommates are up to on their phone, on their tablet, on their TV. It's open everywhere. He leaves his shit open so anybody can see it. So I've seen this, and I never said anything about any of that to him because he's just the type of guy who doesn't give a fuck where he is in life. He doesn't care about self-improving. He's in engineering school with me, but he's extremely stupid. He always gets the shittiest grades, but his motto, his ideal is just to pass the classes, even if you get a D. Hey, I understand engineering courses are hard, but purposely sitting there and not trying and getting bad grades is not acceptable. So he doesn't have anything going on in his life. And all he does is sits at home, plays video games, watches porn, watches chicks on Instagram, and repeats, and watches TV. That's all he does. And a lot of men might not be as overweight as he is, but do live the similar lifestyle as he does. And that's why I'm bringing him up as an example. A lot of men just sit home and waste their whole life, all right? We all know this. Nothing new about any of this. There's more blue-pilled men who live in this world than red-pilled men. We all know that, right? Now, why is that important in this video to talk about? Because when you look at online, when you look at Instagram and Facebook and on Pornhub, what do you see? you see these beautiful women all around the globe, right? You see beautiful women are getting plowed through on Pornhub. On Instagram, all you see is IG models, and IG models are beautiful. Yes, they got the cakes, they got the booties. Yes, we know this. But what's happening, fellas, is that that's what your mind is starting to think that that's what reality is, which is not. Just walk outside of your house, all right? In your hometown, in your big city, wherever you are in the world. How many IG models, how many baddies, perfect dimes can you find? Even if you went outside every single day for a whole month and purposely looked for these baddies, purposely searched for these IG models, how many do you think you would find in real life, in person to person? Can you even find 10 of them? Highly doubt it. But on your phone, online, if you just pull your phone out, you can find hundreds of them, hundreds and thousands of IG models within an hour, within 30 minutes, within 10 minutes. So you think that that's what the world is supposed to be like, and if you don't find anything less than that, then you won't settle. But then when you get into reality, when you go out to do whatever you got to do, go grocery shopping, go to your class, go to your gym, and you see real people, real life people, you don't see girls who look like that. So one or two things happen. One, either number one, you don't try at all because you say that, oh, I'm not settling for that. My expectations are way higher, even though you ain't nobody yourself, right? You are nobody. You ain't shit yourself, but still your expectations are way higher. Or number two, what happens is that you do see somebody perfect, or somebody not perfect, but at least somewhat better looking than most of the other chicks that you see, but you don't approach her because you tell yourself that, oh, these Instagram models that I'm looking at online are only messing with guys who has Lamborghinis, only messing with guys who have a private jet, who have mansions. I don't have any of that. So this pretty girl who I just looked at in public, she's not gonna give me the time of the day because I don't have any of that. Completely disregarding the fact that this girl in front of you is not an Instagram model, does not live that kind of a lifestyle where only the type of guys she's hanging out with are millionaires. She's just another average woman, and that's why she's in this average store with you doing your average bullshit that you do in your average life, right? You guys completely forget that. Why? Again, because that's what your mind is convoluted with. Your mind is diluted with that. And that's why you try to make your reality what you see online. That's not how it works, fellas. And for women, okay? Actually, before I go to the women part, let me finish the men's side real quick. So, you don't even end up approaching that girl anyways. And what do? Instead, you approach these 6s and 7s because you think those are easier to get with. And that's why you see 6s and 7s having ego bigger than a $5 million mansion. Why? Because they think they are actually worth something. Because all these guys are wanting them. Why? Because all these guys have the exact same mindset, exact same mentality that I just described. They all try to give reality the same meaning that they see online. Or they try to give the same meaning of online to their real life, to reality. And you're going to lose every single time if you have that kind of mindset. So if you're a guy and you're watching this video and you were born in this social media era, like late 90s or even early 2000s baby, you don't even know what life is like besides social media and the internet and easy access to everything, I would highly recommend to stop following all these Instagram models that you're following. I highly would recommend to stop following all these chicks who you don't even know, but you're trying to just slide in their DMs for and do this, that, and the other, Like their pictures. Because why? Because you think that that's what's going to give you the ass if you just like one more picture of her. That's what you guys think, and it's really sad. I would highly recommend you stop doing all that because you're just messing up the numbers. one more like she's getting on her picture, she's thinking that much better of herself. And it's making average guys like you and me, is making us go through that much more hoops just to get your average girl, because other guys won't stop liking her shit. And when you get rejected as a guy, when you don't even make the approach, because one of those two things happening: either you don't make the approach, or number two, your standards are so high unrealistically that you don't even think about her or settling with her or spending time with her. You don't think about her at all. Then you become depressed. Why? Because you're not getting anything. You're not even getting the IG models, and you're not even getting the real life people, real life women. Then you give up in life, because you say that, oh, what's the point if I keep going down this path? I'm not getting anything out of life. And that's when you enter the black pill world. A lot of the red pillars go from that to that. Because your whole life is based off online shit that you see. It's not based off reality. Now, let's talk about women real quick. Women want acceptance, as I mentioned earlier in the video. And they know for a fact, the more Tatiana pictures she's gonna post, the more likes she's gonna get, the more acceptance she's gonna get. A female might start off with having an innocent Instagram when she's in 8th grade. But then she goes on vacation once or twice a year by the beach, takes a couple bikini shots, posts those, and sees that her like number just doubled. And that clicks in her head. Oh, okay, all I gotta do is take off my clothes. And that's the journey that starts of a Tatiana. The journey of a Tatiana starts right there. And it continues, because the more clothes she's taking off, the more likes she's getting. And she will do anything and everything for some likes, for some acceptance, for some attention. We always talk about this. We all know this. Nothing new here. Right? So what's this doing to our females of next generation? If you're a dad watching my video, or plan on having kids later in the life watching my video, just know that if you give your daughter a cell phone, she's gonna belong to the streets in a few years. Now, there's different ways to control the cell phone usage. What age do you give the cell phone her to? All of this matter, right? I'm not gonna talk about that in today's video. But what I really wanna get to is that these women are also miserable as hell. We all know this, right? Because they are getting the acceptance, they are getting the attention, their DMs are getting flooded by guys with blue check marks on Instagram, right? They are thinking, these women are thinking that Instagram is real life, just like how we men are. These women are thinking that they have unlimited value because all these guys want them, but they're forgetting something that these men are forgetting as well. They're forgetting reality again. And before you know, just like men, these women will hit the wall. But at least men will have more time to recover than these women will. Why? Because if we men hit our biological wall, our physical wall, where we get fat or whatever, we still have other resources to offer to a woman that makes us more attractive to women. But women, when they hit their physical wall, their biological wall, it's over for them. We don't give a shit about how much money they make. We don't want them for that. We want them for their looks. Women don't just want us only for our looks. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's why she fails to understand that at the end of the day, she doesn't have as much time as a man does to recover. And that's why you see so many single mothers today. Because she thought she's just gonna have fun, and this is nothing but fun and games. And then later she figured out, man, it's too late. Men can't bear children. And if men were like women, you'd see the same trend in men as well. When you don't have that much time to recover out of your mistakes, and on top of that you start living in this fantasy world, obviously single mother rates are going to go up. Obviously unhappy women rate are going to go up. Obviously, this is gonna happen. This is bound to happen. Sure, women, you guys can get all the acceptance in the world, but how many guys really want you for who you are? How many guys give a shit about even having a decent conversation with you? How many guys even care about the things you have to say instead of sitting there and thinking about that ass? How many? How many can you count, ladies? You can't, a whole lot. It's easy for you to get sex. That's why it doesn't mean anything to you. That's why the conversation, the commitment mean a lot to you. It's easy for us to get commitment in relationships, but not as easy for us to get sex. That's why that means so much more to us. So what are you doing to hold your value, to make you valuable to a relationship? I'm giving my guys advice here to improve yourself and become more valuable, to give more value, to get more sex. But what are you doing, ladies? To get commitment? Nothing. And you're just setting yourself up for failure. And this is gonna be the downfall of society, fellas. I'm telling you, Instagram, all this and that. Mark my words. And as long as I'm alive, as long as my channel is alive, and YouTube is not shutting me down, this is the message I'll be preaching. Because I actually give a shit about men way more than women. Because women don't take my advice anyways. Way more guys do, right, than women do. So that's why, if you're watching this video, I really do have a solution for you guys. Notice how I never even gave a solution for women, right? But I did give solution for men. If you're a young guy who's watching this video and you want a family or whatever, or you want to improve your life, cut the bullshit off of Instagram first. It starts there. And then after you close that fantasy world out, you really will start to see the real life, the reality. And you'll start to organize your mindset. It's every single booty picture you're seeing on your Instagram, online, on Pornhub, it's implementing a seed in your head. Whoop, there's a seed. Whoop, there's the seed. Whoop, there's the seed. And before you know, you live in this fantasy world where all you want is nothing but those Instagram models when you yourself ain't got shit to offer. And you live in this delusional world. So start with that, and it'll trickle down to other aspects of your life, fellas. I need to have a whole freaking podcast on this social media talk, because 17-minute video is still not enough on all the things I wanted to talk about. But I really hope you guys were able to take some things out of this video, and I really hope it made sense to you. Follow me on Instagram at Zeekpeak. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and above all, stay classy.